YouTube, new family, what is going on? Daniel back, another video. Lights on for this one, but we have the ready classes because it is about 9 at 9 p.m. So, shooting a video before bed. Want to flow a bit. Had a crazy day at work. I do back-to-back days in the office, Wednesday, Thursday. This is what I do during the day, but of course, helping others, getting people, out of their heads, out of the stories, in spirit, and letting it guide you. So that's what this channel is about. That's the work that I do with people, and that is what I coach people to do. And with these videos, it's simply me flowing, because that's really the way out, is speaking the habits and letting go of stories. That's what I've seen that's helped me grow, and help other people that I've seen as well that apply this grow. Because you can do habits, you can get good at not missing with the wake up time, with the macros, with the training, with the reading, with the reflecting. But if you are not speaking, and speaking authentically, not speaking scripted, or speaking with what you're gonna say and what people are gonna react to, and speaking controlled, because that's fear. Speaking authentically with whatever's on your mind, whatever devil is there that's literally like gnawing at you and is telling you not to speak about it, is what you speak about. And that is what actually helps you grow, because you believe when you don't speak that you are your thoughts, that you are the things that you're thinking about that are like bothering you, or creating stories about, usually things in the past or things in the future, usually things in the past that you've done that you haven't accepted. Basically things that create a block from you receiving new things. So someone, maybe you have anger towards something that happened that you created a story about in the past. It could be traumatic, which is also, everything is spiritual. So trauma is just unreleased stories. Regret, or guilt, or vengeful thinking is all just unreleased stories. Everything is unreleased stories. And when you're flowing, and when you're in peace, and when you're in joy, and when you're in love, is when you're in spirit. But otherwise, if you're creating stories or trying to control something in the future or the past, it's stories. It's fake. So the way to grow in this life, like I mentioned before, is speaking, but having both the combination of the habits and speaking. Because if you're just speaking but you're missing on the habits, then you won't align yourself. But if you're just doing the habits and not speaking, and just maybe writing things online, or typing but not speaking on the camera, speaking in your Instagram stories, speaking on YouTube, speaking to the world, then you will not align yourself. Because it's like thoughts, words, and action, like they say, but it's you setting the spirit free. Because when you don't have the habits aligned, you're waking up before 5, you're training every day, you're tracking your food every day, you don't have vices, you document, you read a self-help book in the beginning, but eventually the Bible, because that's the stem of all self-help books and the branch. But then you also reflect on what you read, and you document, and then you speak whatever's on your mind each day. You get your phone and you just speak, and you can get emotional, you can cry, you can get angry, you can show whatever it is. But realize that the feelings they're trying to give you are fake. The feeling that the story's trying to give you is fake. So when you speak, you realize that it's all fake. It was never real to begin with, but you have to speak it first. So I've had various videos that you can go back on the stories, on the channel story. We don't say story, it's low frequency, but you go back on the channel and see the things I've spoken about. Stories I had about ex-girlfriends, stories I've had about my past, stories I had about even family, the way people see me. It's all there. So I've set myself free many times. I keep doing it over and over when I need to. And like I said, but it's also the habits of being able to dominate the mental and the physical. With the wake up time, especially, the macros, the training every day, especially in the beginning, those are like key things. And no vices, no porn, no masturbation, no alcohol, no drugs, no smoking, no gambling. Any vice, anything externally give a feeling to, needs to be removed. That's number one. And then on top of that, you have to begin to speak. So the two, say, hardest things you can do, but the things that will set you the most free. But like I said, if you stop doing one, then you're not really, something's off. But if you're doing both, then you're a different level, and you actually align yourself with God because you're being authentic in your speech, but also authentic in your actions. So you need authenticity in all areas, because how you do one thing is how you do everything. So if you're just being authentic in one area but not the other one, then there's not alignment. It's not proper. But when let's say you're aligned with the habits, but you're not speaking, but eventually you start to speak, then you align yourself, and then you're in peace. You're in peace. You're not creating stories. You're flowing. Your spirit's guiding you. You're like a kid, and that's the place you want to be. And it's mastering the habits step by step. Of course, if you're full of vices, don't have discipline in any area with physical, training or wake up time, you have to start slowly. Set up bedtime. I would say it was 7 latest, and work your way up to 6, and then work your way up to 5, and then you can do 4:40, 4:45, 4:30, whatever it is, but before 5 always. Then you go into the macros. That one I would say is simple, but if you have an issue with overeating, it can get hard. But tracking your food every day, no matter what you eat, have your macros. And if you overeat, track it. Doesn't matter if you have a bad day, just track it. Just get in the habit. It's the habit of tracking your food to understand what's going in. It's not being perfect with the macros. Just tracking it. Eventually, you're going to see the numbers, see it in your face, and then it will come to a point where you can no longer stand yourself going over the macros, and you start dialing in on that and cutting. And then the training every day is just showing up to the gym, no matter if you're sore, even if you're injured, you can go to the gym. You'd be surprised what you can do. But going into the habit of doing that every day, and then reading every day in the morning when you wake up, and reflecting, and then documenting. So how you grow, speaking, talking about your journey. Hey guys, today this happened, or whatever's happening. You speak and you give wisdom based on your life and your experience, and then you do that. And then whatever's on your mind, you speak on YouTube, long form. You speak and give your stories and your fear to the world, because the devil cannot use something that you give to the world. So the stories you're trying to give to you, just give it to the world. Speak about what's going on in there, what the devil's trying to sell you in terms of a feeling. Give it to the world, and you basically become unstoppable. But like I said, it's repeating every day, repeating and resetting, and it's also wanting it, because there's some that want this lifestyle, want the peace, want the growth within, because it's all internal, and want the abundance within that comes with leg, wants the power within, the love within, the trust within, the alignment with God and Jesus. But it's every day, I would say, but every minute, every hour is a reset, because you have to make sure that you're doing the right things always. But 1 minute can something can happen, and you go back into the stories, or you go back into thinking, or you go back into low frequency. So you have to always be attentive and see where you're at. But when the stories come is when you're basically in a lower frequency and have to get out with the burpees as well. Oh, burpees, I forgot to say every day as well, burpees. So 100 minimum, do burpees. It's very spiritual. Burpees are probably the most spiritual exercise you can do, along with fasting. Like doing those together is levels. Burping and fasting together is levels in terms of how much you connect. But connecting as well is you get the gist of it once you remove the vices long enough. I would say once you're in the habit of the wake up time and the training and the macros, you start to understand what getting connected means. You start to go on the journey. You start to connect more and more with your creator, and you start to get a lot of emotions that come out, because it's the flesh shedding in order for the spirit to guide. So you start shedding the ego with emotion. So you'll be training one day and doing burpees, and suddenly you start to cry, or you just break down, and it's the Holy Spirit starting to enter you and the ego dissolving. So you're opening your heart more and more to the Spirit, and you believe you're getting weak and it's weird and you're vulnerable, but that's how the Spirit enters you. The Holy Spirit needs the ego to be dissolved with the habits, with the speaking, in order for the Holy Spirit to actually enter you. And then you feel the Spirit on the days that you feel like your body couldn't before. Like the days where, maybe for some reason you have to go to bed late, and you wake up, still not missing, but you realize that it's the Spirit, the Holy Spirit getting you up. You wake up, you go for a walk. That's what I do in the morning. I go for a morning walk after reading the Bible, and reflecting. I go for a walk, and those days that it's not you, it's the Spirit, it's God leading you, it's Jesus. Especially if you're speaking and giving your gift to the world and who you are, which is the gift and the purpose you have. Then it's the Spirit guiding you, and you realize how little it actually is of you that's going to take you to your purpose and where you're supposed to be. It's God guiding you and giving you things through your conscience, and you start to get these commands: do this, do that, remove this, don't go there, go here. And it seems illogical, it seems weird, and you're like, oh, like, why is this, like, where am I going? And you start to question things, but it's about trusting the Spirit where it guides you. And it's crazy where you can end up when you don't miss and you keep things consistent. And that, like I said, is what I teach. But most importantly is I gave you the 2 tools, essentially, to align yourself. The habits, I gave you all of them, and then speaking authentically. Don't script anything. Don't try to think what people are going to say. Don't control the views and the likes and the comments and how it's going to be received. You speak for yourself and you give it to the world. And then the habits as well each day. So not missing on the wake up time, not missing on the macros, not missing on the training, not missing on the burpees, not missing on the reading and the reflecting. And you will see the person you become and how fast you can become a different person, like literally 180 by doing this. And both combined is what aligns you. But one without the other, you will not have alignment. No matter how good you are with the habits, and you don't miss, and you're super detailed, and like, just, you need to speak, because the stories will still be there. Even if you have top habits, you still need to set yourself free. So both are the combo and the 1-2 punch to remove the devil each day. But like I said, each day is a reset. You can have a day where you're super connected and aligned, and the next day you go back down, because it's just a reset. Every day is a reset. So that's why I say every day is your birthday, every day is a holiday, every day is a vacation, every day is New Year when you live this life. Because before, you thought you were promised another day, and you would take days for advantage. What's the word I'm looking for? For granted. There you go. You take days for granted, and now you realize that each day is not owed to you. You appreciate each day, you thank God for each day, and you connect yourself with what He wants. And He's going to guide you. It's having faith as well. But when you release the stories, you take off that. When you speak, you take off that energetic vest you have. It's like you have a weighted vest with all the stories you believe you are. And when you speak, it's just like little by little, you take off a little weight, and then you're like, crazy. I feel younger now than when I was, 19 or 18, because it's all energy, it's all frequency. So that's the key. But that's the 1-2 combo. That's what I'm going to leave you guys with, so you guys can begin to really align yourself. Like I said, one without the other is not full alignment, and that is what's helped me. Just speaking, whenever you have something that is blocking you, because you start to feel your energy more, you speak about it. You get a camera, like I do, and speak and set yourself free. And it doesn't matter who watches, doesn't matter if it's someone you're dating or someone you're interested in, or your ex-girlfriend or your girlfriend now, or family or cousins or whoever, friends, people from high school, people from your work. You speak and give it to the world and set yourself free, and as a result, you give that to the world to set themselves free as well. Because you do it for you to grow, and then as a result, other people can take that permission to do it themselves. Because you give other people permission by giving yourself permission to let yourself go. So you let everything go, and then people watch that and you're like, okay, I can do it. If he can do it, I can do it. And everything that I do, the ways I've grown is all possible for you watching. I'm no different. I just want the alignment. I want to be connected to God. I want to remove that thinking, the devils, the stories that I once thought believed that were real, and I believe were going to control me the rest of my life. And I thought, is this life? Like, me overthinking, me not being there, not being in peace, not being aligned. I thought that was the rest of my life, until I did the work and met the people that God put in my life. And then I just listened. I applied what they said, and now I'm here. So this is now where my purpose lies, in helping other people do the same thing. And it's not, like I said, it's not easy. This life is not easy at all. It's the 0.1% life for a reason, because no one is willing to do the things to really align yourself, with the macros, the training, the wake up time. And it's every single day. It's not wake up time for a year or 8 months, and see how it goes. It's for the rest of your life, because that's full alignment, and that's how Jesus can work through you. And then you flow, you connect, and you get those days, and you can't go back. Once you get those days, and people that are on this journey or trying to get on this journey know what I'm talking about. When you have those days where it starts to like click, you're like, yeah, I can't go back. Like you start to see the world backwards. It's upside down. It's all wrong. It's crazy. That's a whole different video, but you start to see how things are just backwards, and you just start to become a whole different person. And it's all God, it's all the Spirit, it's all Jesus. But you have to get there with dominating your flesh, your mind, and then eventually you go into the spiritual, and then that's just unless you can never stop growing spiritually. It's crazy. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Flowing, good day, like I said. Feel very, very good. And tomorrow's another day, like I said, another reset, but always perfect because we have the one true King, God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit, the Trinity, to help us. So if you guys liked the video, like and subscribe. Hope you guys got some value. It's always wisdom. I don't just give information that you can find anywhere. I let myself flow and let the Spirit and Jesus speak through me. So hope you enjoyed. God bless. But as always, until next time, keep killing it.